if you're an online coach stuck in a stagnant business and struggling to generate leads, it's probably your content. Now, in this episode, I'm going to run you through the tools, systems, and strategies that I use to help me overcome the perfectionism that prevented me from posting regularly, and the exact same systems that I now give to my clients to help them scale to £10,000 per month and well beyond. Let's get into it.
I don't know about you, Matt, but I've always been taught that practice makes perfect. And I think this is this is the first place people go wrong when it comes to content creation. So I'd be intrigued to know your thoughts on this.
Well, you'll be intrigued no longer. I was always taught that, you were always taught that, and everyone in their grand's always been taught that practice makes perfect. But if you hold that belief, I'm here to tell you the first thing you need to do is completely dismantle that belief. And here's why. If perfect is the goal, you will never attain perfect. So you're always striving for something that you're always failing to hit. In my opinion, a better belief to have would be practice makes improvement. So if the goal ceases to be perfect and becomes instead improvement, you set yourself up where every piece of content, assuming it's an improvement, is a win.
I think on that, people don't necessarily follow that because they don't actually track the metrics on each post. They would see their idea of perfect as like, 40,000 views, 15 new leads, more money in the bank. Whereas like they're just waiting and none of their posts mean anything to them because they've not achieved that. But I think what we see a lot with your stuff is none of these like reels are perfect, but you're doing the reps again and again and again and again and again and again. It's like you'll always beat the person that shows up once a week when you're showing up every single day of the week.
100%. And the guy who's going for perfect will show up at best once a week. Because, that one's not ready yet. Like, I need to change the captions. I need to change the lighting. I need to wait till I get a new camera. I need to spend however many £1,000 on podcast stuff.
Yeah.
You name it. Whereas if improvement becomes the goal, that is it for us. If improvement on each piece of content becomes the goal, you open yourself up to an iterative process of trial and error where you can constantly be making your best current effort. Like training is practice makes improvement. You don't go into the gym in search of the perfect snatch. You go into the gym in search of a PB in some way, shape or form, technique, weight, you name it. As a result of that, training we approach as coaches as improvement.
Yeah, I agree. And if you were to give a conclusion or like a key takeaway to someone from this first part here, it would be focus more on getting the first 50 reps done rather than getting the first perfect one.
Yeah, my conclusion would be fuck perfect and replace perfect with improvement. The guy that aims for improvement will do 100 reps and improve 101%. And the guy that aims for perfect will do 1 rep and improve probably just by the same 1%, ironically.
I think following up on that, something people believe is like content is almost like the final exam. They study hard, they maybe watch reels or watch other YouTube videos on how to make the perfect this, that, and the other, how to get the perfect scene change. And I think we speak about this quite a lot in the OC is you, in my opinion, need to focus on actually delivering some value and some quality and having a storyline to what you're doing. Not, I've got my cuts done perfectly. I lit the scene perfectly. It's like you can paint a shit gold, but it's still a shit. So I'd be intrigued to see or hear, your thoughts on that.
I think people do think of it like a final exam, like, I'm going to put it out and I'm going to be judged. Well, first things first, you're going to be judged regardless. So you're going to be judged for not showing up. You're going to be judged for showing up. So if the same outcome happens anyway, surely showing up is better and taking the judgment of showing up than the judgment of people like me judging you for not showing up, which is costing your business more than the judgment of strangers being like, your friends like, who the fuck do you think you are posting content? But I got it. People in group chats being like, check Matt who thinks he's fucking Gary Vee now. Fine. The judgment comes whether you like it or not. You can't avoid the judgment. So your attempt to avoid the judgment by being perfect is flawed already. And if you're approaching it like it's the final exam, you're kind of approaching it with like the study hard, get it right, don't mess up approach. I don't think that's serving you. In fact, I'm almost certain. I'll ask you, how is that serving you? Because I did that for years and it does not and did not serve me. Instead of thinking like the content was the final test, it's more a case of think about content as a skill that you build in public. There is no way to build that skill in private. You can film all the fucking videos in your bedroom that you like and do nothing with them. But if they never see the light of day, you never get the feedback loop.
What was the difference you noticed in your business when you went from posting irregularly to posting regularly, but the quality being less? Because I've got access to that PP strength, like when you were a personal trainer, and some of the stuff in there is brutal. But you were posting all the time.
Thanks for the kind feedback. It was brutal. I agree. But I was posting every day, every single day. I was going live every day. I was posting every day. And lives are the perfect example of this because there is no edit. There is no lighting. There could be, but for me, I would walk to the gym and I would do a live every fucking day. And when I started posting more and doing lives, what I found was people didn't give a fuck about the quality as much as they gave a fuck about the content, the actual the stuff inside. So they were like, oh, this is useful. And then as a result, I got more conversations, and those conversations weren't leads. They were just people that were chatting to me, but they became leads over time. So if we think about each piece of content as like something that we put out into the world that someone may respond to, like, or otherwise engage with, and every single one of those things may lead to a conversation. If I'm doing 5 and you're doing 1, I 5x. Here it is. If every piece of content is a ticket in the lottery, and you can buy unlimited tickets per week, and your only way you could make money was to win the lottery, would you buy 1? Or would you buy 5 or 10 or 20 or 7? You tell me. But my guess is, and the penny drop moment for me was more than I am now.
I think that is the perfect way of putting it. Like, why would you not buy as many tickets to this free lottery as you possibly could? And I have a question on something you said earlier. You said earlier that you're a perfectionist. Why are you a perfectionist?
Why am I a perfectionist? I don't know why.
Why and how did that come about?
Okay, I don't really know why, but maybe an experiment through this thought I can help you out. For me, when I've always been someone that cares about details, always. And then when I left school and went into engineering it is a perfect art. It's a science, not an art, really. If a building is 1% wrong or less than 1% wrong and it falls down and it kills you, in structural engineering, it's criminal law. If I made the mistake, I go to jail. So there was like high stakes perfectionism baked into me. So that definitely helped. And then I think in engineering for me, every drawing, so if we were building the building, there would maybe be thousands of drawings. Say there's 100 drawings per building. You don't just draw it once and be like, there you go, builder man, build the building. It's more of a case of there's probably 50 to 100 revisions per drawing. So I learned the art of iterative progress, where it's like, this is the best with what we have now, which is the problem with content is you have everything you need to make your best content ever right now. And tomorrow you might learn one little thing, and then you can do tomorrow's revision, and then it's 1% better. And for drawings, it was like that. So that it definitely came from there. But the other side, I suppose, was I saw the dangerous side of it when it became self-employed, where I could constantly be like, I can make this better. I can sweat the small stuff. And so I'm a weird mixture of things. I am a perfectionist by like self-proclamation, but I'm also impatient as fuck. And I actually think that's a really great combination, because the perfectionist would be like, wait, do it again. The impatient guy's like, post that and let's fucking get some feedback, and then let's use that feedback to go. Because I know I've pulled you up on a million things whilst we've been working together that probably feel anal retentive.
To someone that's not got a background in like that level of detail, it's like, okay, the filing system like this, capitalize this and this, then the subfolders like this, and it is just like completely random to someone that's not been exposed to that. But then the practice you get by doing brings you to a better place now. Well, but it's not focusing on the first task, and you said that there is like you have your revisions, but so many people focus on the revision on the previous reel. So it's like they could spend 3 days on a 30-second reel, and they've made it perfect, and they spent so much time, but the value's not increasing. They're just investing more into it. So the drop off when they fail, or when the reel gets 10 likes, they're like, it's not worked. It's like, no, you could have just done 3 reels, and the third one could have been more valuable, better storyline, and had that little like nugget of improvement baked into it.
I agree 100%. So, it's just these little things, and that's a bonus point. Is like one of the things I asked Chaz to do early doors of working with me was the B-roll folder, and every single coach should have a B-roll folder, like in your Google Drive, Dropbox, wherever you use, in there, called B-roll. Send all the shit from your phone if you don't have a camera to there, and organize it in the house, in the gym, walking the dog, cooking, eating, playing whatever sport you play, on holiday. That seems anal, but it will speed up the process of content creation. And I think a lot of the time that's one of the battles with perfectionism is you don't know where it is, and you only have 20 minutes, and so now's not the time, and then you delay it. So if the goal is to compress the time and to stop worrying about perfect, and just done is better than perfect, that is simple as that, then the more organization you can bake into the flow of making content, the faster you'll be able to find things, the faster you can find things, the faster you can make micro changes. And if you said you had half an hour to make the edit, You can make more edits in half an hour with an organized filing structure. You still use the same amount of time. And I think, like, we can probably talk about that later, is having a timer set is going to be one of the fastest ways to stop overthinking.
Yeah. Okay, so let's make this actionable and bring it home. What, if you had to sum this up, what are your action points for these self-proclaimed perfectionists?
Okay, so the first one would be to set a volume goal, not a quality goal.
Expand on that.
I think if the goal is like perfect content or like reel that looks like Chaz's, then you're using the wrong metric. Instead, if we set a volume goal, which is 3 reels per week, no matter what, you now have moved away from perfection and moved towards accepting that the rep is the mother variable. Like, the rep is what will improve you. If you think about exercise, how did you get better at benching?
Reps.
Yeah, just lots of fucking reps. Yeah. So same thing goes, like, so make the rep the goal, not the finished product.
Point number 2.
Different frame for reviewing. So create, post, review. Because I think what happens just now is they go create, review, post. So if we can go create, post, review, the framework works better because now you don't have unlimited time to fiddle. If you have a timer to make maybe set a timer for the script, the film, the edit, whatever timer works for you, and do it in that time. And then ultimately review it after using insights will allow you to find out where you should have made changes, because otherwise you're guessing.
I think using insights is a good one. People, when they review it, as you said, they review it before they post it. It's like, that's just your bias.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not even, like, most of the time it's not even right. I think if you reviewed your stuff, using you as an example, before you posted it every single time, you wouldn't put anything out. But then some of the stuff that people relate to the most and gets the highest engagement is just those, like, all right, this was out with the family, or this post.
I'll tell you, the stuff that gets our highest engagement is the stuff that you edit of me that I'm like, I would never in a fucking month of Sundays shared that on the internet because I look like this, I sound like this, all the imperfect stuff, which is what people fucking want.
Love the imperfect stuff. And another tangent on this, when we were in the war room, one of the guys in the war room was talking about not wanting to, or not necessarily knowing what to post, because he was experiencing like a small injury at the time. And to that note, people relate to that stuff so much more. The like, oh, I'm struggling, but I'm still trying, I'm still turning up. No one wants to see the guy that's already doing really well do even better. Share
the L's, not just the dubs. The L's do better. When I shared I missed my income target by over 100 grand, loads of people got in touch. We got a lot more engagement on that. I got loads of saves because it was actionable as well. But if you're like, oh, well, I made this much per year, that's great. But I mean, good for you. The internet's full of those people. Like, I feel like if you share the L's, people are like, oh, relatable as fuck, bro. Like, sign me up. Yeah,
100%. So that's the first 2. Any more?
Use a content timer. I would say it's Parkinson's law. Work will expand to fill the time available for its completion. So if you have all afternoon to film and post and edit a reel, then guess how long it will fucking take. Yeah. Whereas, like, one of our clients, Zach, he was struggling with this. As like me, perfectionist, was saying it was taking him 4 to 5 hours per reel.
Shout out to Zach.
That is fucking insane. But I mean, I can relate hard because it used to be me. And so I called him out on it and asked him how that was showing up. And if he keeps doing that, how much content can he make? And is it serving him? And he said no. So I set my challenge. And a lot of it is just going to boil down to challenging yourself. It's not going to be comfortable, but that's the fucking goal. I said to Zach, okay, 30-minute timer for the script. And whenever the fucking buzzer goes, that version is the script that's going into the edit. And then say a 30-minute for the edit, for the film. I doubt you need that, but let's just say it was. You've now got an hour, so we've now cut it down by 3/4. And then if you have 30 minutes for the edit, it's still pretty much less than half. And you can do even better than that, but set timers for each chunk. And if you set timers for each chunk, it will allow you to be done in X amount of time. Because I know you're sat there and I know you're like, yeah, this sounds fucking great, but it takes me this long. The only example I need to make this completely dispel that is if it takes you all day to do your Friday check-ins, on Friday it's 9 to 5 to do all your check-ins, and that's normal for you as an online coach. But then one week your partner booked a flight at 1 p.m. and lo and behold, you got all your check-ins done by 10 because you had to be at the airport for 12. Then what the fuck happened there? You didn't do less check-ins. You just set a timer and worked against it. So Parkinson's law allows things to expand, but it also allows things to shrink. So set a timer.
There we go. Any more before we round out? We've got minute and a half left.
Okay, I think just to cut one out, I think it's like post before you judge. Chaz touched on it earlier on. You're your own worst critic. I know you are, because I am for me, and you are for you, and you are for you, and everyone else is. So you're the worst person to critique your own content. Chaz called me out on it. I know I am, and I know you are. So let the market decide what's valuable. Let the market decide what's good, because you will find through trial and error and through imperfect action that a lot of the stuff you post and expected to do shite actually does very well, and vice versa.
I think that as well. I find that with my own stuff. I can't, like, I struggle to watch. I couldn't watch one of my own reels in full, but they're normally the ones that do better. Like,
Correct.
if it's just you sat there talking about something, it's like, fucking hell. But people relate, people connect, and there you go. So, are they all your points you've got? We've got 40 seconds. We have put the timer on, guys. We've put the timer on.
I may offer a bonus one with our 30 seconds left. And it flows nicely off that one, which is to build a messy proof folder. So if something that you posted using all these tips it will by definition be less perfect than what you're aiming for now. And that's actually the goal. That's great. If you post it and it does well / better than your current, save it in a folder somewhere called messy proof. I've done this and it saves me like so much thinking time. Then whenever I find myself slipping back into perfection, Matt, he's like, oh, but Chaz, let's go and get another light. Nope, look in that folder. This shit did really fucking well for a reason. And that's where I'm like, Matt, your opinion counts for shit, because I'm making content for you, not for me. Because I would have maybe done my hair or had a shave or fuck all that. I think just to cap it out, you're never going to look, sound, whatever the way you want. You're always going to critique yourself in a way that isn't beneficial at all. You're not making the content for you. And if you can go away from this episode thinking, this isn't for me, this is for them, and they need someone to educate, they need a leader and an educator. They don't need fucking Brad Pitt or George Clooney. They just need the fucking goods, and the goods exist between your ears. I don't care whether you need to shave or not right now.
Yeah, the camera's just the tool to get the goods out.
Let's get the goods. Empty your brain. You have a lot of good shit to share. Make sure it's pain point related and go and fucking share it, and let's see what happens. And then let's use the insights to inform the decisions, because those insights are market insights, not you insights. Your insights are, I look this, I look that, I'm a piece of shit. Everyone has that internal narrative and it ain't serving you.
Hell yeah. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys. See you on the next one.
See you in the next one. Bye.